This podcast is meant for mature audiences only and contains strong sexual language. All right, everybody, welcome to the Black and Kinky Lifestyle Podcast. This is the Bell and the Bomber speaking.
Hey.
Coronavirus, COVID-19, Rona, whatever the fuck. This shit is serious. Like, I think I was joking about it on the last episode. This shit is so serious. Oh my gosh. But, you know, we've been stuck in the house for several weeks. We hope everybody's staying safe out there. You know, practice this social distancing shit. Yo, shout out to all the lifestyle businesses, clubs, house party promoters, all the people out there that have just been, you know, really crippled by this shit. Mm-hmm. You know, our hearts go out there with you. We're really gonna look forward to doing a lot of these lifestyle parties once this shit is over. So stay strong. I don't know. I might just jump into a pit full of orgy. I don't even know what that looks like, but like this shit has been ridiculous.
I mean, once outside opens again, I'm not gonna be the first one out there.
I don't give. I might just fuck anything, to tell you the truth.
Well, your ass gonna be locked out the house again for 2 weeks.
All right. Hopefully we'll get our rapid tests by then. You can test me before I get in the house. All right. So again, this is the Black and Kinky Lifestyle Podcast, where we talk about the lifestyle from our perspective, from the perspective of a black couple that's been in a lifestyle for a few years now. And today, we're going to have a, special episode, just talking about women and sexuality among black women in particular, I guess women in general. But the reason why this topic came up is because, you know, the last couple of episodes, or the last 3 episodes we had was from our men's panel. Shout out to everybody who submitted questions for that episode. It was really helpful. But one of the things that had come up in that episode was just about you know, the sexuality of women. A lot of guys were just like, you know, I want to get my lady into the lifestyle and she's not feeling it. And then it really became a discussion about, well, what is it that, how do men fuel, the comfort of women to be open about their sexualities, right? And so we decided to have an episode on that, but, you know, again, I was like, you know, who can we call to really speak on this? And I was like, wait a minute, we know the pussy party president. We could call her for consultation. Yeah. And so we ended up getting in contact with Jessie Camille. And she is the pussy party president, and she's on our show today. Say what's up, Camille. I'm sorry, Madame President, excuse me.
Hello.
All right. So Jessie Camille is most known for being the creator and host of the Pussy Party podcast, where she helps women who feel like their sexuality is confined, misunderstood, or misrepresented to feel empowered to unapologetically express their sexual needs and wants. She travels around the country exposing the world to various aspects of sexuality, all to help change the attitude around taboo sexual topics, crowning her the Pussy Party President, a sex culture revolutionary. Jessie is also a spiritual wild woman, herbalist, tarot reader, and author. She is the owner and operator of Manifest Tea, where they create decadent, holistic, intentionally blended herbal teas and baths to be integrated into your manifestation routine.
Oh.
Jessie then went on to be #1 new release on Amazon after she published a book called 30 Ways to Start Manifesting, a journaling guide for manifestation. Last but surely not least, Jessie Camille is the creator of Panty Dropper, a CBD-infused stimulation serum. Panty Dropper Stimulation Serum is an all-vegan product designed to give extra sensitivity for women and men on their erogenous zones. Through Panty Dropper, Jessie also offers her Tantra services as a sensual healer. Her tantric practice is developed to increase intimacy and create a mind-body connection that can lead to powerful orgasms. With all those entities together, she works heal through sex and sexuality and to bridge the gap between spirituality, sensuality, and sexuality. You can connect with her best through Instagram at the Pussy with a W Party Podcast, or also email her at info@thepussypartypodcast.com.
So I want to just make sure our listeners heard that. So the creator of Panty Dropper, okay, that's the name of the serum, Panty Dropper. I almost wish I could rename this episode Panty Dropper, because that's really what this is all about. Like, not necessarily making women drop their panties, but like if a woman wants to, I'm saying, no, because in that vein, it's all about guys doing something to make women drop their panties. But I'm like, we want women to have the freedom to have the choice to drop their panties if they so choose. We want them to feel comfortable doing that. Yeah. Jessie, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself. What made you start that podcast, and what's the podcast about?
The podcast is about pussy, but really, if you think about, like if the Democratic Party had a podcast or the Republican Party, the Pussy Party now has, this place that we can talk about the things that represent us, the issues that we care about, things that we want to learn. So that's really the synopsis of the Pussy Party Podcast. How it came about was I was actually doing a podcast with a friend that I'm no longer friends with. And we never really moved forward on the podcast that we were doing. At the same time, we were hanging out, and I think I had like a night of really great sex. And we all came back together, and I mean, I don't know how y'all do, but me and my people, usually we do kind of like get back together, like after the kind of, when you have a football game and you watch footage afterwards. It's like, not that we watch footage, but we're like, man, this is what happened last night, and he had me upside down and I nutted, and nice. We get together and we talk about how great of sex we had, the last night. And I remember that I had great sex, but like my other friend didn't have good sex. My gay friends didn't have good sex. Like everyone else didn't have good sex. And I felt some kind of way because I wanted that like camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? Like, yay, we all getting orgasms and life is great. And it wasn't. And I was a little lifted. And this was at the time when Snapchat was really big. And so I was like, I am over this shit. Like, this is some bullshit. Record me. And so I had her record me on Snapchat. And on Snapchat, I just like, if you ever go listen to my first episode, that's pretty much what the Snapchat video was. It was like, my name is, Jessie, and I am the Pussy Party president, and we're going to have a State of the Union address to talk about the Pussy Party mission statement, because it is our right, as pussies to have pleasure, and we need to talk about it and have ownership over it. And so I did this like 3 to 5 minute video about the Pussy Party mission statement and what the pussy wanted and what the pussy needed and all these things. And, from there, life kind of went on, and I got put in a situation where I was hanging out with some friends, and I asked the group, hey, what would you do if you woke up in the morning with a pussy, to the guys? And what would you do if you woke up with a penis, to the girls? And the conversation was just so like, took things to another level. The men were like, oh, we would hide it and we wouldn't give it to anybody. And the women was like, we would take all of your girls, but I told one of the guys, I'm like, well, if you would hide it, then why do you not understand when women want to wait to have sex? Or why don't you treat women?
Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Snapping fingers right now. And so that conversation, it was just like, this is the podcast. Like, I could do this, and it just manifested, it just came to be. And it's really been since day one a thing that people have really taken to, and it's just like grown into a life of its own. Can I just say, because nobody has had the heart to ask me what I would do to a puss, what I would do with a pussy if I had one, and I'm feeling some kind of way about that. Because I have some thoughts.
Okay.
Because the one thing that comes to mind is the last thing I'd want to do is get fucked by a guy. Like I wouldn't want that to happen. Like it doesn't sound like something I've ever been. I'm just being real honest. Like if I had a vagina, I mean, I wouldn't want to hide it. I just want to play with it all day. I'd want to see what the female orgasm feels like. I'd want to do that. But
but we have so many. You'd only be having, a few. I mean, I guess you could give yourself a cervical orgasm with a dildo and all those things. But I mean, for me as a pussy, like, yes, I love dick. Like, I love dick. I do. But I realize I love the man behind the dick more than the actual part. Because there's something about like the body being pressed on me. I even like when men sweat on me. I like manly things, that I couldn't get with the dick by itself. And I have to give the male counterpart credit for that. That's something that I love. It's more of them as a, creature as a being, more than just sticking their thing in me and giving me a cervical orgasm, which I do love.
All right. So, I was checking out your webpage and just looking a little bit about looking at sort of how you defined your own sexual journey. And I got the feeling that your sexual journey started really early. And, I feel like you might be outside of the norm of a lot of women who aren't quite as comfortable with that. And so just tell me, is that an accurate assessment? And why do you think other women are not quite there?
So, I mean, I lost my virginity when I was 14, which I don't think is too out of the norm. But I know that is ahead of, some women. Most women, the average is about 16 or 17 that they lose their virginity. I did a whole episode on it, and I did research. The only reason why I know. But I think that the reason why my sexuality, I'm so comfortable and was so comfortable at a young age is because my parents. I was raised by a dad who never told me go back in the house and change from those short shorts or, when I started the Pussy Party podcast, he was the first person that I told, so I have a great relationship with male energy. And so I'm just comfortable being, and a part of me being is that I'm also I'm also a sexual being, but also my parents, now that I'm older and I know, my parents were in the lifestyle. My parents were, I have a very open family. The men hug each other and kiss each other and, very like affectionate family. So I know that my sexuality in general has never really been oppressed. It never has really been a thing that I had to question in like my immediate family or what have you. So, and I know that that's rare. Like a lot of girls can't call their dad and be like, I talked to this guy and he this and he that, and what do you think? And he'd be, and even talk about we had sex and whatever, and it'd be okay. So I think that that's probably the biggest reason why I've been so comfortable with my sexuality growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It all starts in the household. All starts with the parents a lot.
Right.
And
especially the dad, for girls, because that's like our first interaction with the male, energy, the first, our first man we love and things like that. And so definitely I agree.
So before we jump into like the topic, which we just sort of touched on, so can you tell our people, like, how do you kind of identify? Like, are you like poly, like single, unicorn, in a relationship? What's going on there?
Right. So I definitely am poly. I'm technically single. Yeah, I'm single. And I mean, I would say that I'm bisexual, but I've never had experiences with, someone who was trans or someone who was, was not just standard male or female. So, I mean, I could be a pansexual. I'm not sure. Like, I'm pending bisexual, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, I'm like, when Jesse said, I'm single. I think some guy's gonna have his heart broken when he
No.
hears that. I have a feeling.
The thing is, because I love a little differently. I do have a lover right now, but my love life. Oh gosh, I don't even want to get into it. I kind of have a little bit of stipulations around my love life right now, to where I'm only having lovers for 90 days at a time this year, just because of my goals and spiritually, what I need for myself, because I can get very wrapped up and consumed into loving a partner. Um, so yeah, I have lovers, but the relationship, you would think that it would be one that would, like, the interaction that would be more serious than like we're just dating, or that would have some sort of title just because of how we treat each other.
Right. You said every 90 days. I mean, what happens when you get at day 89 and you're like, damn, I wish I had another 90 days? You just cut yourself off, or like,
Well, I mean, they can still be in my life. They just can't be in my bed.
oh, wow.
Yeah.
They can't be, but I'm like, what about you? What if you want that though? Like, do you like
You break your
exercise?
own rules.
Yeah.
Honestly, so what is this? Where are we at? We're in April.
Yeah.
So have to see, right? Because it's just started this year. I would say the standard man will not make it to 90 days.
Okay.
They'll fall off, or something will happen, or whatever, right? I had one guy who did make it, because I started loving him January 1st, right? New Year's Day. And he hit me up like, hey, I want to see you. I'm like, see me what? And he's like, he said some bullshit besides fuck, because we know that's what he wanted to do, right? Because it was a strictly physical relationship with this guy. And he's like, I want to hold you and talk with you. And I'm like, when did we start talking? And he said, oh, we're past the 90 days, huh? And I said, yeah. And I said, but we can still hang out. You just can't, like I said, you just can't hang out in my bed, right? And he didn't respond, So it's just kind of like, to me, challenging your motives in the relationship, and also being able to, when somebody tells you who they are, really and where they are in life, believe them. And I mean, for me, I haven't had a situation yet where I've wanted to defy my own, instructions and go past 90 days. Now, I did meet one guy who when I met him, I was like so in love. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so amazing. And so I was willing to wait 90 days to have sex with him, to hang out with him for 180 days, which I think is kind of a part of the point. So, it's not that you can't be in my life, but when I consider a lover, like, we're having sex. We're loving on each other. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to say I have it all figured out or that it makes sense, but I can say that I have gotten a great response from men when I say that I'm only taking lovers for 90 days, versus a thing that us women have said forever is that I'm waiting 90 days to have sex. Mm-hmm. And I think that it kind of gives this metric to make men like rise to the occasion, to where it's almost like they try to overperform to like be the exception to the rule or what have you. But I'll let y'all know how it goes. So far, so good. It's been really serving me very well.
No, and I think it is very much in alignment with the topic we wanted to talk about today, because that's a really interesting way of flipping it. Because I heard about the 90-day rule, and I'm just like, I don't know where that's gonna go, but this is an interesting take on it. So we might come back to that later on. Before we jump into the topic, I just wanted to acknowledge some new Patreons we have on board.
Yes. So we got Ricky and Mr. B. Thank you for being patrons. We launched our Patreon, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they've been a part of our community. If you want to join Patreon, you can find us Black and Kinky on Patreon. We have exclusive clips on there. We have a community like an online community where you can chat with us, see some pictures, and all kinds of fun stuff. So visit us at patreon.com.
Yeah, you could actually find the Patreon link if you go to our website at blackandkinkylifestyle.com and just sign up for the Patreon. I think the number one couple of things to realize about Patreon, we're doing it because this podcast life is not free. And, we don't make any real money off of this. And oftentimes we need more equipment, and the need for more equipment comes faster than any slither of revenues we get from this thing. So, the money is really going towards that. We're not being greedy. We're just we want to make this show good, and we want to give you guys an opportunity to contribute to that. And what we do give you in return is just more access. I mean, the thing is, you could always send us an email. You could always send us an Instagram DM or a DM on Twitter. But the fact is, we never quite get to those with the same level of frequency and vigor. If you're a member of our Patreon, I mean, we do have a chat community on Band, and we are on there every day just talking to our tribe. So if you want to be part of that group, we do encourage you to sign on to Patreon and support. All right. So let's jump into our episode today. So, this is the Black and Kinky Lifestyle, and it is not the Black and Kinky Lifestyle podcast until we've done our hit list.
Yes.
And our hit list is going to be a little special today, a little bit more open. And it's all about a question of, if you were locked in the house with a celebrity or with anybody other than your partner, let's try to keep this fun, for the duration of the year, or maybe the duration of a few months, who knows how long this shit's going to last, they would be there to fulfill your sexual needs, but they're going to be there for a lot longer than that. Who would it be and why?
See, this is difficult because, we know celebrities, but, we don't really know how they fuck. So I would like some information about their sexual prowess before I select.
So, for me, I'm going to go with, kind of what my type is, my physical type. Mm-hmm. I would pick Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
Why?
He seems authentic. And that's the body type. I like that linebacker. And being in quarantine, so you done gained a little weight, so you got a little bit probably around your waist. I like all of that. I like the teddy bear type. He's got the locks. We can tie our locks together, and I'm sure that he's down to let me do all kind of tantra and spiritual stuff to him, and he could probably carry me, run me around the house all year. So that is what I would pick, Marshawn Lynch. And he seems like he got resources, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be good. He gonna have your mama come, everybody come to the house, and I'm good, just in the room. Mm-hmm. His little sex slave, and he my sex slave.
All right. Mr. Lynch quarantined with Mr. Lynch. All right.
So if we're going on the looks and the aesthetic, and this is going to be pretty, definitely got to have a type, but I go for Damson Idris. So he plays Franklin on Snowfall.
Oh, yeah. He just needs one of me in his life on that show. Ooh.
Yes, but he has the look, and I follow him on Instagram, and he is, he's just very chic. He looks like you, Bomber, y'all favor a lot.
Oh,
but then he has the British accent, and it would just be I feel like this very posh life.
He's British?
Yeah, he's British.
I'm going over there when the quarantine over. Because, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I didn't even know that.
Okay. I'm gonna go with I changed this at the very last minute. I think her name is Cynthia Erivo. Is it Erivo? Is that how you pronounce it? Erivo. Okay, so she played Harriet Tubman in the new movie, right? She played Harriet Tubman. She was also one of the key stars in this movie, not this movie, but this series on HBO called The Outsider, based on a Stephen King book. She's just this, like this, British, dark-skinned, beautiful black woman, thick lips.
Yeah, I got a type.
Yes.
Now she doesn't look like me.
No.
But
No, she doesn't. She has your spirit. She has your spirit.
Yeah.
But she seems really quirky to me. Like she has this dyed blonde crew cut hair. And she's nothing like any of the characters she portrays in her films. And I just love that UK accent. And I would never get tired of it. And I'd like to hear it all day long. Yes, especially coming out of the mouth of a black woman. There's nothing like that British accent coming out, because you don't just get the accent, but you get that black spiritual twang to
Right.
it. You know what I mean?
The pussy even feel different because they tongue move different.
Yes. Before we get serious, because I usually have some random ass questions for my guests. We have our random ass. It's actually my random ass questions.
Yeah,
the Bell never does this. It's just me because I'm fucking weird. But I don't know, man. This quarantine. How have you been like coping with this shit?
I've been living my best fucking quarantine life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Emphasis on the fucking. But I mean, my life hasn't really changed too much. Like, really, it's actually gotten a little busier because, like, y'all said all the stuff in my bio. I do a lot of stuff in the spiritual side of the world. And right now, with all this shit going on, people want answers. They want to know what's going on. So I've been really busy with doing like readings and giving people herbs and natural things, to help them. And also I started teaching other people, mainly women, to do what I do and to learn, the different lifestyle stuff that I do. And so that's really what I've been doing. And then, I've had Quarantine Bay and all those things, or
nice.
Bays, and so, yeah, I mean, I've been great.
Well, that is good.
Really good.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
We've been doing better than most.
Yeah.
We've been finding ways to get creative.
We're surviving.
Yeah.
They're
bigger. So I haven't broken any rules, but I ain't necessarily just totally like abiding by, like, if somebody wanted to come over, I may ask a few questions and make a decision, but I haven't been like, no, like no one can see me. So like I have a little studio audience right now.
So like, I think what's happening is a lot of people are watching a lot of porn.
Yes.
And I'm just wondering if folks are just getting really creative with the kind of porn they're looking at. So this is the first question I wanted to throw at you. So I don't know why I've been really into interracial porn lately. Maybe it's because I don't see white people as often as I typically. So black has been go-to for me for some reason. What about you, Belle? Have you been watching? I
haven't been watching porn, but I don't watch porn like as a regular like activity.
Yeah, no, you're not like me. I have to take porn breaks while I'm doing stuff that's actually productive.
Like if somebody throws up a clip in the chat, like I'll watch it, but I won't go like, let me go watch some porn now.
I actually get really excited when I see people put porn up in our chats now. Like I watch the whole thing.
Oh, yeah,
like sometimes I'll just watch a clip, but I'll watch the whole thing. I'm like, let me see where this is going. I got nothing better to do to see whether this dude is gonna bust a nut over these cheeks. I have no idea. But yeah, so what have you been watching?
I've been watching, I like Ebony, POV, Fat Pussy, Cream Pie.
Cream Pie!
Yeah, that I like. I just like to see like the actual. Like, I don't care about the whole scene and the girl and like their face and stuff. I like to just actually see like the actual, penis going in the pussy and like the creamy process start. And I like when like the girls have real fat pussy lips to where it almost looks like it's like a mouth sucking the dick because how fat the lips are. I like that. And I've been really diving into like my kinks, and I've been doing, a lot of like healing work too. So I've been talking a lot about childhood and like the good experiences, the bad experiences, and like how they connect to like your kinks and stuff like that. And I talk about my family, and I said that, the dad and all that stuff. And like for me, one of my kinks is like, daddy's little girl. That's like kind of one of my favorite ones or whatever. And so with my lover that I'm, having a great time with right now, we've been looking at the porn associated with our kinks. Oh. So, they have all those like stepdad and daughter and all that shit. Like, I kind of been looking at that, and I know it's weird, but hey. So yeah, I've been watching that. I Google Black Love, and I find a lot of couples that are like, have their, careers on Pornhub, and I like to see that. What else? I like car sex because I like to have car sex. Like doing it in the car.
Oh, okay.
I even like to see two like masculine like black men like make love to each other, or like a black man like that's all like looks like he would be like a standard cis heterosexual male like suck another man's dick. I like that kind of shit. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really been going too hard, but when I do search, it's been mainly that POV. That's like my like, okay, let me get rub this out in 10 minutes and keep going. But I had to like change how I masturbate though.
How so?
Well, because I'm not an avid squirter, but sometimes it's like it cuts on and it cuts off for like however many months or whatever. And right now it's on, right? And because I'm at home and I'm kicking it in the bed more often, like I can't be squirting in my bed. Like,
so you have squirting seasons is basically what you're saying.
Squirting seasons, yeah, and I think it's definitely mental and probably has something to do with like my health, how hydrated I am, or something. I don't know, but I started, and this is so funny, but it's so true. I started masturbating halfway in my bedroom door because I moved from my bed to the floor in front. I have a mirror right there on the ground, but then I was just squirting on my carpet, like even with the towel, it was just too much, and I had to get carpet freshener and like all that stuff because it was just too much. So I have hardwood in my living room, and so and no one's here, right. Usually when I'm masturbating, And, so I just put my like top half in the bedroom where the carpet is on the ground, and my bottom half where the hardwood is. And my clit suction, the Satisfier is like one of my favorite toys. And so I'll just cut on my POV and do that and squirt. And I'll squirt on the hardwood floor. And I could just like mop. And
so you have a squirting section in your house for your squirting season.
Now I do, yeah, because I mean, in normal life, I probably wouldn't be masturbating as much as I do to where it'd be that big of a deal. But now I don't have time to be cleaning that shit up, and I don't want that, in my carpet or on my mattress or, the sheets. Like, don't nobody got time for that. So I just in the threshold of my bedroom door right there.
So speaking of cleanup, like Belle, like, I don't know, there's been some times where I've seen the edge of the bed get a little creamy, and sometimes I just thought maybe you spilled some lotion on it or something. Is that like Is that like your vibrator section of the bed? Yes, sometimes?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I always masturbate on my side of the bed.
Okay. You've never marked your territory on my side.
No. I mean, I don't know. It's like I like my side of the bed. It's comfortable. My vibrator's there. It's already plugged up. I can just grab it.
Have you ever like had a moment where, because I've had this happen before, full disclosure, like, I might be watching porn or something, having my little solo session, and I'm thinking it's going to be like a quick cleanup job. And then like right before it happens, I'm like, oh shit, I should have been more prepared. and then it just gets everywhere. Like, have you ever surprised yourself? Like, oh, after it's done, it's like, what have I done?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wasn't until one time I recorded myself because I was sending it to a lover, and I didn't realize like it's way more fluid than I thought than what it feels like in my head. So I need to have a action plan beforehand.
I'm wondering actually how many people have permanently fucked up their phones because they either came too much on it or squirted on it. Like, what's the story to Apple? You're trying to get your shit replaced.
I ruined the whole computer because I squirted on it. Mm-hmm. Sure did.
Yeah, we could always tell.
Well, that's how I fucked up my last phone. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, because I remember I recorded that shower video.
Oh.
I dropped it in the shower.
That's not the phone that's upstairs with the battery that exploded.
That one.
Okay, because that would have been hilarious.
That one.
That would have been a hilarious story. Like the phone exploded because there was too much sexiness on it. That would have been an interesting story, but that wasn't that phone. All right. Okay, so let's jump into actually this next question. So the next question I wanted to just talk about between three of us, like, what are you most looking forward to once social distancing is over? And I'll jump in first. I really want to go to a meet and greet. I want to go to a lifestyle meet and greet. I don't care who's there. I don't care if nobody there is sexy. I don't fucking care. Like, I want to be in an environment where I could just flirt with somebody and then walk away, get a kiss on the cheek or something, hug, pound. I don't give a fuck. I want to reach out and touch some ass. That's all.
Reach out and touch some ass. Well, for me, I mean, I want to get on a fucking plane, but I guess that would be a little bit of a planned thing. But like I was telling you guys, I've been doing what I call goddess manifestationalist training. So I've been training some women and actually a man to live a little bit more intentional lifestyle and merge their sensuality and their sexuality and their spirituality and all that stuff. So I've been doing a lot of like healing work and a lot of self-love and a lot of things. And so I can't wait to continue to like teach a class, but then us be able to go out to, happy hour or something like that, and them get to experience how other people react to them based off of like their actual intentions, based off of the work that they've done to, grow into their confidence and in their intuition and all those things. So I'm ready for like us to go on like a field trip to like wherever and see, what happens. I think it is going to be an amazing night.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. I think travel. Like I just wanna, because we had some trips planned, and so I would like to go somewhere. That's not.
Let me just say, the bell was pissed off when I had to cancel this trip. We had something planned. We were supposed to go somewhere. And it was still like in that point where we were like, maybe this is still possible. And yeah, it was like, it was to Florida too, which was like the slowest state to react to this shit.
Like we probably still could
go. People are still traveling.
Yeah.
Like I just found out a former lover of mine is in town. And I'm like, how did you get here? Like,
what? Like even if you go somewhere, most places, everything is closed. Mm-hmm. So like you're just there.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no like, because
so
you can't go to the
people there. You go and you hang out with the people that in the city. So I guess that's what he's doing, and I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna, I guess this would be an outlier to the 90-day rule because it's a former lover. So.
Wait a minute, is there some kind of grace period? There's some nuances here to your 90-day rule that we might not have talked about here.
Well, see, the 90-day rule just started this year. So
Oh, okay.
he is prior to the rule system.
So he has a grandfathered plan to the pussy.
He is grandfather. But I mean, my thing is, actually, I did engage with him this year. I engaged with him around my birthday, so January, at the end of January. So February, March. I guess he's got a few weeks technically for his 90 days. So.
All right. You don't want you want to pause this interview right now so you can make a phone call, or are we still good?
Oh no, he gonna call.
All right. So last random ass question, which is probably not as random, but this thing is going to change things. Like this, it's only been a few weeks, but this is going to change things, and I'm wondering, how do you think it'll change? Like, I mean, this is to all of us, but how might this change intimate relationships, sex, and dating? And the thing I'm wondering and thinking about is, like, one, I'm wondering if online dating is going to become something people are more comfortable with. Long distance dating is something people are more comfortable with than they were before because there were all these different ways of being intimate. Or are people just going to be like, oh shit, you know what? Let me appreciate the time I have to be intimate with someone physically because I might lose this at some point. What do you think might go down?
I think that old things are going to come back new. I think that like the organic in-person stuff will be appreciated more. I think that, like, the way that we go about meeting people and interacting, I think that because we couldn't, now we're gonna want to do it more. I mean, I think online dating will always kind of like have its place, but I mean, for me, I can't wait. Like how you said, to go to a meetup and flirt with somebody and, get smacked on the ass, whatever it is. Like, that's something that I look forward to. I mean, that's kind of my take on it. Mm-hmm. I even think that, like, things are going to change as far as, like, families and stuff. I think that, like, big families are going to come back. I think, like, a lot of old things of how we used to do stuff is going to come back because we've been told we can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know, like, hookup culture with, like, younger millennials was a big thing prior to this, and so I wonder if that will I wonder a few things. If that will continue because people will be craving intimacy, like some kind, well, not intimacy, but some kind of physical engagement. But then the other thing is, I think a lot of people are realizing with that hookup culture how many relationships they don't actually have. Like, they don't have real connections with people. Yep. And so they will move away from that to really start fostering, like, real connections, real intimacy that's not necessarily physical with people, because this has shined a light on how kind of empty their relationships and connections were.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great point, Val. Thanks for that. Because what that actually had me thinking about, like, we're in a bunch of different chats. We're in, some chats that we're with, some of our lifestyle friends. And then there are some chats I have with some of my vanilla friends. And, like, I treasure those so much. Like, not like, there's a bunch of, like, we probably have like 100 different couple chats that we haven't engaged at all since this shit started. Because it was all about fucking, like, honestly. Yeah. But, like, the friendships we built, like, those are what I gravitate to. Like, even if somebody just posts a fucking pussy pic, like, if I know that pussy, like, I know the personality behind
it. I know that pussy.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen that pussy cry. Like, I know it. So it's like, it's.
You mean like squirt? That's what I call when the pussy squirts. Is the pussy's crying?
It's an emotional pussy. Emotional pussies. Okay.
An emotional release. That's what I call it.
So yeah, no, that's a good point, because with the hookup culture, like, I'm not thinking, like, you're not thinking about the people that you're fucking unless you have the opportunity to fuck them, right? but those intimate relationships really do matter. Well, thanks. That was great. So thanks for indulging my random ass questions. Now
No
we're going
problem.
to get into the topic of the hour. So, like I said, the reason why we decided to do this episode is because we get a lot of guys sending us messages about, like, they hear about our lifestyle, they hear the bell talking, they hear this woman and about other women who are really open, who are in the lifestyle, who are fucking, like, who are just like willing to go in an orgy, willing to, go to a club and just willing to, do the nude thing and just have other partners, even though the bell is very picky. It doesn't happen like that all the time.
No.
But the question that a lot of guys have is, like, how, like, my woman doesn't seem to be as sexually open as the bell, or my woman isn't, like, as sexually open to go to a lifestyle party, or she's not really gonna be with that swinging shit because black women just ain't with that shit. And so,
Lies.
so yeah, I mean, we understand that that is not true. Just by empirical data, we know that it's not true. There's a whole lot of black women who are freaks. But
Right, freakier than black men.
yes, yes, skip to a frightening and horrific degree that guys can't even fathom. But the question is, what is it? First of all, are women hesitating to be sexually open with their black men, or with their men in general? And if so, why is that? Beyond the obvious, I guess.
Yes. I mean, judgment, of course, is the obvious, but I think it's because the men that we're engaging with are not really making us happy. So we're not going to give you more than what you can handle. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to open up to you. We're not going to any of that because that's extra. You know what I'm saying? If on a stand, like for my lover that I have right now, he from day one, let it be known that he understood, loved, and respected what I call divine feminine energy, right? And he understood that it had needs. He understood that it had wants, and he understood that it could not be possessed or contained. And he made it like known, And so for someone like me, who is very sexually open and have had to deal with various levels of men accepting it or getting over it and being comfortable because they have this sort of like possession protectiveness over us. It was refreshing, you know what I'm saying? And I think that kind of admittance and openness, like it kind of set the bar to where even when I've had other men in the past who said, oh yeah, like I wouldn't mind if you had another partner and all that stuff. Like, I feel like they're lying, like that when it really happens and they're going to flip their shit and I'm going to have to deal with all of the emotional and mental things of you thinking that I love them more than you or that I'm not satisfied with you or, whatever. So I don't think that I would even be able to get to that point if the man didn't really, one, make me happy, like just between me and you, and then beyond that, like kind of set the foundation that I understand that all of my needs and wants and all that stuff are the same as yours, even though you have a vagina.
Right. I mean, I think you can read a guy's energy as to what, like you said, what he can handle. So, like, can I tell him about my real sexual history, or do I need to give him like the light version?
Right.
And knowing that, that can make women hesitate. And sometimes they're willing to take the trade-off because it's like, okay, he checks all the other boxes off of my chart, but
Right.
I know that he can't handle me sexually, and that's okay. I'll deal with that. I'll
Right.
just put that in the back burner, and won't worry about that because I have this man who everything else, I'm satisfied with. But I
Right.
don't feel safe enough to express my sexuality with him.
Right, for sure. I think women are taught at a young age to compromise, and we're taught to be, what is it called? We're taught to be like mannerable, you know?
Submissive.
Not submissive, but just like we're taught, like if someone were to give us a plate of food when we were like 6 years old and we didn't like it, we're not gonna be like, oh my God, this is so nasty. We're gonna be like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that, and kind of like hold back our true reaction, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that like conditioning, you know, we're taught to kind of be like, okay, these are our needs and these are our wants, and I'm willing to kind of settle somewhere in the middle, versus I feel like, and this is just, you know, pussy party president talking from my pussy biasness. I think that boys are instilled with this kind of God complex.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From just a young age, to be like, yuck, and oh, and I like that, and I don't want that, and I'm gonna go after this, and I'm gonna not do that because, you know, I am. And so it's really hard, I think, to deprogram somebody who has that kind of like thought process to even like be able to put themselves in the other person's shoes, to like the guy saying, well, why can't I just get my girl to be, you know, sexually open or whatever? Well, you know, you didn't live a whole life of like close your legs and put your skirt down and, you know, all these things. And deep down, she probably isn't happy somewhere. There's something that you're not doing to where she probably feels like you even deserve to know that, or to have that experience with her. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I always say, like, for me, I live the goddess lifestyle, you know, and I believe in, you know, I like to be worshipped. And that, it doesn't mean submissive, and that doesn't mean like, you know, feed me grapes while I lay in the bed, even though that would be great. But, you know, it's just about respect and like really treating somebody the way that you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And the men who are getting it, I mean, I'm sure that, you know, you two, you know, together, like you worship the divine feminine and understand it and respect it and invest in it on a level that most of your counterparts probably don't, which is why you get privileges or live a certain lifestyle that most men don't.
So one thing the Bell said earlier was that like the idea of not feeling safe enough to reveal these other parts of me. And that stuck around because it sounded like what you were saying earlier, Jesse, was that there's something that this guy is doing or not doing that's not sitting right with his partner. Mm-hmm. And I really want to dig into that, because I don't think as men that's communicated as a possible thing that's going on that we need to fix in our relationship to make it sexually healthy.
Right.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about what guys are or not doing in these situations when it comes to homosexuality.
I hate to like not go down that rabbit hole, but it almost comes to a point in time where we can't look at the other person. Like, it is a self thing. Like for me, if I've had a time where I've held something back from a partner, it's because I was scared they were going to leave. You know, I'm scared to be alone. I'm scared, you know, that the relationship is going to end. And that is probably the biggest thing, is like not really being okay with it, not with the relationship ending or with it not moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what are the things that the men are not doing? It can be some subtle things. I think one of the easiest things is like the pretend protection.
Pretend protection?
Yeah. Like, I posted this sexy thing on Instagram and my partner has an issue with it. And their excuse is like, well, there's so many weirdos out there and people can look at you a certain way. And I'm just like, you know, I'm just protecting you, you know, versus just trusting that you'll be okay, you know, trusting that you're fine and not really worrying about the what if it all went bad, you know, or you're dressing that sexy outfit and you're going out with your girls, and I'm not worried about you, I'm worried about the other guys who are not going to respect you, and blah, 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 blah. And I mean, those like little idiosyncrasies, I think kind of add up to where we feel like you don't trust us, yourself, you know, the world or what have you. And, you know, it really does affect things long term.
So I think that when guys are doing that, so I have a few theories here, just to not be the devil's advocate, but just to speak for my fellas who are out there. So I think what some of them would say are a couple of things. One, like, if you are flaunting out there, right? If you're like putting yourself out there sexually, like maybe it's on Instagram, right? The thing is, like, that's cool, but if somebody steps out of line, right? Like, let's say let's take this off of social media and let's think about like us walking down the block at 9:30 or fucking 2:00 in the morning after the party. If what you're wearing is provoking somebody to be like an asshole, like, I'm the one who's taking that first punch, right? So I'm sort of the one who's kind of who has to defend you, right? Now that we could argue that that's
you don't have to.
So I'm gonna like, so that's one thing, right? The other thing is, this might be a little bit more selfish, but I think for a lot of guys, it's like, if you're putting yourself out there and I'm with you, that says something about me. And I am not prepared to have to defend that.
Right.
Even
so
though,
like,
I might be okay.
Sexually open.
Don't say that again?
Yeah, right. So then thus also, you're not prepared for me to be sexually open and having orgies.
Yeah.
You're right. So prime example, my lover, he had two friends come by who was going through the city to go out of town, right? And the guy and his girlfriend were here. They were just hanging out. And I don't know what happened, but he was like, oh, don't look at my girl or something. He was joking, but, you know, he really wasn't joking. And he was like, what? He's like, okay. He's like, I'm not looking at your girl. He's like, but you can look at my girl. You know, she's walking all through here. I want you to look at her and see how sexy she is, her fat ass walking around here and all that stuff. And for me, you know, that is like confidence. You know what I'm saying? That in who I am, and that you know that I am sexy and I am enticing, and that you are prepared to deal with whatever, because you know that comes with, you know, that kind of level of, you know, sexy or freedom or whatever, you know. And to me, it's kind of like that scenario, I think is great example of, like, you know, the common thing that men use to kind of justify. Yep. But most of the time, I mean, I think that if a man is confident and all that stuff, just kind of like ignoring that and not even addressing, you know, even if someone was disrespectful, just keep going on with your life. You know, it's a choice to defend something, unless he just straight up comes and snatches and tries to rape her in front of you, which is not realistic. It's more than getting into you talking to my girl like that, and a possession, and now we're talking about masculinity having this like battle with each other over image. And so then once again, it's not an issue with us, it's an issue between the men.
So let's say, you know, you're with your guy. Let's say I'm that guy. We're walking down the block. You know, you got your ass out and shit. Your fucking cleavage is out. And then, you know, nobody's going to come out and try to grab you and rape you. But some dude might say, oh, damn, look at them titties. Oh, I'd sure bust a nut on her ass right now. Now, I'm going to feel some type of way about that. You're going to feel some type of way about that. Now, if I'm like, you know what, babe, yo, like, we just going to keep going. Like, let's not worry about that right now. You know what I mean? These guys don't know how to handle themselves. We're going to keep walking. I'm not even going to say nothing to that. I don't know. Is that something that's going to get your pussy wet? Or, like, because...
If he's just saying something, like, I'm not gonna. First of all, I believe titties are for everybody. So
for everybody. Everybody see cleavage.
So, you know, if he's enjoying my titties from afar, then, you know, that's what they're there for, you know, for the enjoyment of all who can
who have eyes,
them, right? Who have eyes. So as long as he is not like approaching and being belligerent, like approaching physically and being belligerent, I really don't care. And knowing me at that point, I'd probably be drunk, so I'd probably say some smart shit back.
Right, like you about to nut on your titties, hey.
Right, yeah. So I think that would be fine, but it's when it goes beyond just like a cat call.
Right.
Like because so like even with the whole like thing about women hating cat calls, I don't really understand that
cat call video.
Because I'm just like, I guess
I kind of like it a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
But
wait, what was that, Camille?
I kind of like it a little bit. Yeah. I mean, even when I was young, like when boys used to smack you on your booty and run in like middle school, and girls like, oh my God, stop it! Like I loved that shit.
Shit, now you go to jail for that shit. They'll take middle schoolers to jail for that shit now.
I mean, I get it, and I think that's where like us being primal humans, and then like the law of the land kind of don't mix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But also too, it's just like how we teach sexuality, how we look at it, you want to go after what is unfamiliar, you know what I'm saying? And so if we taught body parts and sexuality and like how it's going to make you feel from a young age, most kids probably wouldn't even be worried about that shit. Like they think it was ill, it's some weird thing that our parents trying to teach us about, and they be like focused on school and like, shit like that. But that's neither here nor there. Don't get me on my sexual education rant.
Excuse me. What I'm trying to do with this episode is really like just do that. Like when you say things like, all right, like when it comes to me worshiping or respecting the Belle's feminine spirit or respecting her pussy, like I'm telling you right now, that's not really what my objective was.
What was your objective?
It kind of just happened by accident. Like I think I was, I had been a sexual health educator for a while. So in my career, I just sort of understood more about sex and what it was about. And, just through my education and my interaction with women and the way I communicated with women, because I had a lot of girlfriends, platonic girlfriends, I kind of learned to respect a woman's sexuality outside of my own desires, which is something that a lot of guys aren't in the space of doing. And so I can't, like, I don't know how to communicate to a guy to get to where I am.
Right. Well, the biggest thing that you said was that it was outside of your desire, right? So the guy who's like, I want my woman to open up. Why? Because I want to have orgy, right? He's never like, man, I really want to understand what truly makes my woman come and what does she want? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe her thing is orgies and it's only with women. Maybe it has nothing even to do with dick. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be these things that have nothing necessarily to do with you benefiting. What I think most men don't have is compersion, So it is basically you receive pleasure when someone else is, getting pleasure or is happy, and you don't have any indirect benefit from the situation. So like your partner goes on a date with someone and they have a great, you have this euphoric feeling from meeting this new person, and you're happy for them genuinely. And it had nothing to do with the fact that, you're going to get any kind of benefit from that interaction or even experience it at all. So, So like when my lover said, oh yeah, you can look at her and all that stuff. Like he knows that I like to be admired. He knows that I love to feel sexy and all those things. And he's happy when I feel like that. And that is a prime example of compersion.
Okay, so now that you said all that, I'm gonna ask the Belle, because I had made a bold assumption earlier that like I'm respecting your pussy and your feminine energy, but am I? Like honestly, like be honest, like am I? Do you feel like I'm respecting your energy, or do you think I'm just trying to bust my nuts?
Oh, I think it goes back and forth. I wouldn't say that we're always in one place or another all the time. It depends because, and I would say, recently before all the corona shit and stuff like that, we were having a really hard time because like I was not really feeling lifestyle stuff and you were like I just want to do all this stuff and I'm like no, just like that's just not where my headspace is, and I kept saying it and you were like no, I kept saying like you just want to fuck and like that's fine, but I just don't want to do that right now, like I'm just not interested. Okay. And you're like, it's not about that, I just want to hang out with people and like it's not that serious. But I was like, no, you just want to fuck.
So let me preface this. I gotta add some context here. Because we were on a timeline. There was going to be a point where the lifestyle was going to be inaccessible to us for at least a year. And I was just like, let's just try to get it in now because it's going to be over in like a month. So like, let's just take some chances. And the bell was like still sort of on a path where, I don't know. I felt like you were taking this for granted. Like I'm like, no, we don't have time to be as picky as we were being. Like if you like the guy, like let's just see where this goes. But yeah, so I agree with what the bell is saying. There's a lot of times where we were not on the same page. So I say all that to say I went on this tangent because I say all that to say that even though I think that within my peer group, I have more respect for the pussy than others. I'm still learning, is what I'm saying. Like, it's still like,
Because then there'll be times where you'll be like, okay, so what's your fantasy scenario? And like, how can I help facilitate that? How can I help make that happen? And even though it may not have anything to do with you. But if you want to have this experience, like how can we see if we can make this experience happen? And so I think those are times where, and I know we've talked about, I don't know, on something else, about you watching me with other guys. Like that is compersion. Like you're not involved, and we enjoy that experience. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, something that comes and goes.
So Jesse, just to let you know, just to give you an example of what we're talking about here, just to bring it back to what you mentioned. So when the Bell and I are with other partners and we're watching each other, we don't want to be involved physically in that thing. I think that's what makes us different from a lot of couples. Like if the Bell is fucking a guy, like I'm not gonna like find her, like trying to get in front of her face and try to get a blowjob while she's getting piped out by a dude. Like I literally get more enjoyment watching her get piped out without the distraction of her giving me a blowjob.
Right.
And the same is true, like vice versa. So, but yeah. So, but again, even in that example, it's something that I enjoy. I like you enjoying things, but I like seeing you enjoy things. So it's like, is it compersion or am I being selfish again?
Yeah, no, that is compersion. But also, too, I think that when you truly like kind of follow the desire and like what turns you on and all that stuff, that like behind compersion is like some sort of satisfaction too, when we get to the kinks and what we like, being a voyeur, you know what I'm saying? And having the opportunity to be a voyeur to someone that you love, that's a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? So it's about balance. It's not about being this totally higher conscious and selfless being who just has so much compersion. Like it's about being authentic and saying like, I need to be selfish right now and this is what I need, or I know how to be selfless. It's about balance. And I think that that's what you guys have. You know what I'm saying? Like she's really picky and she's not feeling the lifestyle. It could be something maybe between y'all, or either it's just for herself. Like she's, maybe not feeling her most confident, or she sees some shit with the people out there that she knows that they fake as fuck, so she doesn't want to fuck them. Where for you it may be a little different, and just being able to like have the even flow, like I think that's happiness versus like it being all guns a-blazing all the time and it just being cool, is not realistic.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that I am apparently become an extrovert and the Belle has become introverted.
I was always an introvert.
No, you weren't, man.
Yes, I was. I don't know who you thought. Okay.
Okay. I wish I was recording more when we first started. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. Okay. So, all right. So let's move away from the guys for a moment and talk about what other women do or don't do that. And I'm trying to keep this on Black women in particular.
Right.
I think.
Right. Because white women have honey. Yeah. They are free on a different level.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. They do stuff at a young age. They are way ahead of the game. They're allowed to be all kind of quote unquote hoes and this and that, and then they can grow up and be a nice young lady and wife and all that stuff, and nothing ever happened. We have the opposite. So
yeah, just look at the first lady.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I guess and Belle, I don't know if you can preface this and talk about like where this was coming from, but what is it that women do that just make it hard for other women, Black women, to be open?
I mean, I think just in the same way that men judge women on their sexual preferences, their desires, sexual history, women do the same thing, and sometimes can do it even more viciously, I think.
Definitely.
And so it's like, you have your girl talk, and I don't know if you had this scenario, Jesse, but you're talking with a couple with some girls, and you're talking about, what happened last night, and they're like, oh, like you do that, like
right,
I was never like blah blah blah, those kind of things, and so then you're like caught off guard, and so then you become more guarded about who you share your real self with because of the fear of judgment, the fear of being ostracized, them feeling like, oh, well, if she lets her man run around doing all of this, then he must be free game, for me to shoot my shot. And so I think all of those kinds of things happen, particularly in circles of Black women.
Definitely. So I look at it as like I take a lot of personal responsibility, because I feel like there's this like we still have like this slave mentality to our sexuality, and I think that when we see other women that are free, there's a like deep down jealousy that's like, no. Stay shackled with me, what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I'm always the shocker. For like, let's say one thing, eating ass. Okay. So I'm like, talking about my thing, and then I ate his ass, and they're like, what? Oh no, girl, that's nasty, and that's this, and that's that. And then you have a choice to be like, oh, I know, but it was just, you can kind of like try to backpedal it and downtrack it so that you can like kind of stay, in the crew, or you could be like, well, no, like I do like to do it, and I don't think it's nasty, and you still gonna drink after me because, and I keep it real, what I'm saying? And not care. And like, that's kind of like the thing that we deal with all the time. It's like that thing where Harriet Tubman said, I would free more people if they would have knew they were slaves type thing. I feel like we have that with our sexuality, and I have experienced the most negativity from other women and from other women who, have this elitism about them because they are conservative. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they get some sort of notch or reward or badge because they are prude or whatever, right? When deep down, they want to, let loose too, or they are doing it and they're lying about it, So I remember I posted a picture with like a bathing suit. I had on a one-piece bathing suit, but my legs are open to like the camera and stuff. And one of my friends, who was a guy, posted it because it was a travel thing and I was in Guatemala. And you would have thought that these women knew me. Oh, you have a low self-esteem. You're looking for men's approval. And the men were coming to my defense. They were like, well, she doesn't look, she's got on a one-piece bathing suit and all this stuff. Because I had a bathing suit that said power where the pussy was. Right. And I do think that it's sad that we are hardest on our own kind, but hurt people, and we are the most oppressed group. You know what I'm saying? They give us this false narrative that successful Black women don't even have a sexual identity. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, I think other women feel like, well, how dare you even, have the audacity to do that? Even me, when I first started the Pussy Party podcast, I'm pro sex workers or whatever, right? But I used to kind of separate myself from like Instagram models. And I had to realize that, like, if I'm pro sex work, what I'm doing and how I'm posting and all that stuff is no different, no better or no worse than like the girl who's an Instagram model with her, booty in her, whatever. And is just much of, a woman and to be respected, as I was, so we all have to kind of like check ourselves a little bit.
But when you mentioned the sex work thing, right? So you remember Guy Code that came on, used to come on MTV. And there was an episode where the topic of sex work came up, and this is Guy Code, so there's a lot of guys talking about like, oh, prostitutes, never, like, no, you shouldn't do that, like, definitely not a good idea. And like, I'm like, really, nigga, like, come on. And like, and you hear the girls, but the thing is, you hear the women, they'll be like, guys never ever pay for it, like all of them never pay for it. And I'm just like, I mean, some niggas gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there for a reason.
Right.
Like,
somebody's paying for it.
But I just remember hearing it. So I knew why the guys were saying it. I understood why the guys were saying it. I couldn't understand why the women were saying it, though. I didn't get where that was coming from. But I think there's a lot of that shaming. Again, this is another example of where women are just out there like, no, like, this is not okay, or they're sort of trying to create this standard.
Right. I mean, my thing is like, if you, as an individual, as a woman, if you enjoy your body and you enjoy other people enjoying your body, whether it's through physical interactions or through pictures or through videos, like what is the problem with it? Like, why does somebody care? Why does somebody else care if you're not hurting yourself or anyone else, that you're enjoying your body and you may be getting paid for it?
Let me tell you something. You know why people care? This is my theory. Okay, I'm gonna bring it. I'm showing love to the fellas that are listening right now. The thing is that guys, and we talked about this in our male panel, have spent thousands of dollars trying to get pussy from non-sex workers. They could have spent $100 and got exactly what they were looking for immediately from a sex worker. And women who aren't sex workers don't want to lose that power. That is why. That is why you see that opposition, just to answer your question. That's my theory anyway.
That is a great theory. And really, if we got over ourselves and worked together, we could dominate even more versus trying to have this hoe versus housewife thing. Mm-hmm. You can crack the code.
I think you've dealt with this some, Bomber, because like some of your vanilla friends know about us being in the lifestyle, but you don't regularly share with them like what we do, or particularly anything that I do.
Well, yeah, no, I don't do that because I don't know what purpose it would have in those conversations, because guys are guys and they're just going to be like, oh shit, damn, your wife is doing what? Damn, I'd really like to experience that. I don't need that kind of pressure.
They're going to be jealous.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get away from the jealousy, and haters are dangerous, especially when they're your friends. So, so that's one reason why I tend to avoid that kind of thing. I wanted to move on. So Jesse, the first time we met you was at Naughty in New Orleans.
Yes.
Naughty in Orleans. And I think we were introduced to you by the Amours. I think that's who introduced us.
Yes.
And we also happened to see you on the panel on race and the lifestyle. And you know, we were happy to meet you. We were happy to meet like our little collective of, you know, sex positive folks of color who are, you know,
Right.
who are part of this thing. But it, I think I walked away from that with the assumption that you were a lifestyler. And the more I learned about you, I was like, wait, I don't think you're a swinger. And
Mm-mm.
no, you're not at all. So is what brought you to Naughty and All? And were you just there for the education aspect of it, or?
Well, my thing is, I won't say that I'm not a swinger totally. I mean, I think I'm definitely more poly than swinging. And if I would have brought a different masculine, then I probably would have been a little bit more active in participating or what have you. But I just think that I haven't been in the environment to swing the way I want to. Like, I do have to have some sort of connection to have to really enjoy it. Like, I mean, I was working more than I was having, you know, fun at Naughty. And I think maybe I let one person eat my pussy, like, for a little bit.
Wait,
But
were you in the group room?
no, no.
You
I missed
you
all
never
of
went to the group
those.
room at oh man. Oh, you missed
Somebody, I think somebody's boyfriend or or their partner, I had seen them when I was like crossing paths between the Temptation Hotel and the main hotel or whatever. But I felt as if I didn't bring totally the right equipment with me to jump in there how I wanted to.
got it.
You know, I brought more somebody who is more in the working aspect of supporting me and all that stuff versus like I didn't bring like my BDE, my big dick energy, you know, part, which is oddly my former lover that's calling me now, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I've never really been in a situation where me and my husband at the time met other couples that were about that life. You know what I'm saying? That even gave us that. So it was more always like, you know, unicorn hunting. And I love being hunted as a unicorn too, you know, but I don't know. I feel like it's something about me. You know, I don't get approached. I don't get hit on that much.
Because I remember when we got introduced, I was like, oh shit, she's bad. I was like, oh shit, am I going to meet her? I'm like, oh, we're going to meet her. Oh shit. Okay. And then we met Jesse. And so with that in mind, there's actually a question we got on Instagram, and I wanted to present it on our episode today. That was from somebody that might have been striving to be a unicorn. I'm going to ask the Bell to read this one for us, though.
All right. So the question goes, I'm not sure if this is in your area or not, but I don't think I've heard you guys talk much about unicorns. I'm a unicorn in the lifestyle, and I'm also pretty shy and introverted. I meet most couples online, but I like to be more social and approach couples I find attractive in social settings. I've been too afraid to attend parties or to go to lifestyle clubs alone, and I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of fun. Any tips on how to be more approachable or maybe more comfortable in social lifestyle settings?
Perfect timing. So I have absolutely no idea how to respond to this one. I don't think this question is for me.
I mean, I'm not a unicorn, but I think for single women would have, in a lifestyle setting, not necessarily in a vanilla setting, but in a lifestyle setting, the easiest time talking to a couple and meeting a couple.
A unicorn?
A unicorn, yeah. Okay. One, majority of couples are looking for unicorns.
True.
And if she can connect with the woman, usually, you know, connecting with the woman first, you're in. Because 99.9% of the time, the dude is gonna fuck. Like, he's gonna be down to fuck.
I mean, that's true. But I mean, what I felt from this message is this idea of being alone. Like, you might be successful at the party, but you have to go to the party alone, and you may have to leave the party alone. And if you're not in that space where you're seeing someone you're clicked with, you're at the party alone.
I mean, I think for that, you know, if you're meeting couples online, going to a party with a couple or going to a club with a couple is a great opportunity to meet them and not have to be stuck. Because what we say, if you go on a date and you can tell in the 5 minutes it's not clicking, like you're stuck. Or if you go to a couple's house and it's not, a situation, and I would say if it's a couple you don't know, don't go to their house by yourself, because that's just not safe. To me, it's not safe. You're stuck. But if you say, hey, I really want to meet y'all, let's go meet up at the club tonight. Let's go meet up at this party. You can get a chance to interact with them. You still kind of have somewhat of a home base, but you still have the opportunity to meet other people and hook up with other people. The other option is to find a single male. Because most of the time, single males can't get entry into events on their own. And so they're always looking for somebody that can get them into the spot to meet people. Now, they need to be a quality single male, and that's a whole other discussion about that, but that's another way to do that. And then just like the introverted shy piece, just, you have to be, confident in your divine sexuality. You're a wanted commodity. Most of the people in the place are going to want you, and so you have to own that. And that takes time. That's something that takes time, especially if you're not as sexually experienced and you're new to this. And you could also team up with another single female. So you all are
that's another thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would tell her you're not ready. I know it seems like a little harsh, and maybe it's because I don't coddle or whatever, but if this is something that you want, right, and you know where to go and get it, there's a reason why. Like I said, I'm scared to be alone, or I'm scared to whatever. What are your motives for even wanting to be a unicorn? Are you into just the male? Are you into just the female? Are you really into couples? You really maybe need to dive back on what it is that's holding you back. And if you have some kind of confidence issues, then honestly, those kind of make the worst unicorns, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to be really self-sure to be in a 3-way relationship. You don't get to hide any of your, blind spots or anything like that. You're going to have to communicate. You're going to have to own up to your own shit. We know how this goes, So if you want to use the excuse that you're an introvert, because I know introverts that are way more bold than me. I'm an extrovert, right? So I will go and dance like crazy in a crowd full of people, but I won't sing karaoke. But I know introverts who will go on stage and sing karaoke by themselves, you know what I'm saying? But not have the best interactions, in a group of people. And just because we have these titles doesn't mean that we cannot socially interact, you know what I'm saying, in the other setting. It's just self-confidence. And I mean, the biggest issue that I think we see in the lifestyle in poly and all those things is that I think sometimes we think that the lifestyle will help us fix some things, that we have internally for ourselves, because we're reaching outside of the norm when it comes to relationship styles, when really it's only going to magnify it and expose it even more. So I'd say, wait until you're actually ready. Are you really going to be a great unicorn if you can't go walk into a club and be pursued? Probably not.
I think that's real. That's definitely honest. And definitely you don't. So you do not go into the lifestyle to try to fix whatever sexual issue you may have, whether you're a single or a couple. Right. And even if you have in your mind, what your sexual identity is, being in those new sexual situations will bring up stuff that you hadn't even discovered.
Yep, definitely.
You're not aware of. Whether it's desires or things that you're just not okay with,
Right, out of sexuality, just being a person,
right.
Self-image issues and, stuff like that, self-love and all those kinds of things. So definitely. I mean, I would say the easiest thing though, girl, is just bring one of your homegirls with you and act like it's the regular club.
Second question we got, but this is more, so somebody was asking, what we thought about women with Queen of Spades tattoos and that kind of thing. And so I guess
What's Queen of Spades tattoo?
Queen of Spades is supposed to be, people have different ways of interpreting this, but it's supposed to basically be, it's supposed to basically be a white woman who just likes BBCs or some shit like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. So there's that. But I think there's just a general question about, fetishization, I always pronounce that shit wrong, of the black body. And
so, I am a black woman, and I am very much have knowledge of self and where I come from and my history and all those things, right? So we'll just put that as a thing. I understand that a lot of the issues that we have in life when it comes to racism, classism, and all that stuff, a lot of it is stemmed from feeling some sort of inferiority to the black penis, like in its strength and its originality and all those things, right? Because in truth, it isn't even about having a big black cock. It's really just about the black cock. Right. I remember when I went into the +1 room, because that's where the black people were, the black men, and these two white women who were, I'm no one to judge, but they were not my type. They were not, I don't know anybody who would put their dick in them, on a regular, saw them at the grocery store. And they were kind of disappointed. I guess, I don't know if no one would engage with them or people had left or no one was available, but they were like, oh, we wanted to get chocolate wasted. Right. And so I'm guessing that those are the kind of women that you're talking about. Yeah. See, for me, when I masturbate and I look at porn and stuff like that, that's why I don't really watch interracial porn, because they usually are getting into it and they put a color on the penis. Oh, give me that black dick. And it totally turns me off. Because I know where that comes from. I know where that stems from, and the Mandingo complex and all that stuff. And I think that sometimes we try to disguise our kind of fucked up ways of thinking, our racism, our classism, our sexism under preference or desire. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that there's anything wrong with loving black men. Black men need love on a higher level than, most, right? Yeah. But
I'm glad you said that, because black men do need love. And to be honest, I like being desired for my blackness.
Right.
I like being desired for being a black male. What I don't like is being subjected to just being that thing for someone, just being like an object. But if somebody's like, wow, I like him, and that black dick is a fucking bonus, I'm not mad at that. Like, the bell will get pissed off. Like, I don't really care.
It's a fine line. It's a really fine line, for sure.
Fine line, and what they're doing is they're not desiring you for who you are as a person, for your shining personality. They're desiring you just because you're just your blackness. That's it. And just your blackness in this context. Because guarantee if they met you out in the vanilla world, they not fucking with you. They not letting you in their house. They walking to the other side of the street. Like, they're having nothing to do with you. And they probably calling you a nigger behind your back.
Right. Or slip up and do it while you fucking them because they have sex brain.
Exactly.
Ooh, child.
And the fact that they are so emboldened to feel that they should tattoo themselves that I conquer black dick with a Queen of Spades tattoo is just repulsive to me.
Right. And how do you actually conquer black dick? Because if you get it how you want it, you're being conquered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Black dick. I think that's the first time I've heard somebody describe it that way before.
What'd you say?
That's the first time I heard somebody call it that, the Queen of Spades thing, conquering black dick, which would not be a pleasant definition for it.
Right.
But I think that's what a lot of people walk around. But right. I don't know nobody with a Queen of Spades tattoo. So
right, and then it even gets into like the cuckold and all of that stuff. To me, that is a little bit more genuine because there is a submissive role of like the white husband. You know what I'm saying? To the black man, and it's understanding the strength and the dominance and the all those things there, and like being put in that like kind of humiliation role or whatever. To me, it's like restitutions for our ancestors.
Right.
I still have issues with that situation too, though, just around the language. I think language is really important, and it's ingrained with some things that, like Crystal on the Rito, I said words mean things, and they really do. But people don't think about that. And so like within those situations, like the black partner is called a buck. And when he comes, in the white female, he's breeding her. You'll see the comments where they only want to be bred by bucks. I'm being bred by my buck or whatever. And I just can't do the language.
Right.
So I'm gonna confess something right now, and I think it's because I've just been drinking gin throughout this whole conversation.
Oh shit, gin make you sin.
So listen, there's a particular kind of porn I just dabble in sometimes. Sometimes I just like jump in. I don't stay there too long, but like I
see it.
Yeah. So. But it's like it's comic book porn.
Okay.
Specifically interracial comic book porn.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about comic porn is that it's just like regular comics. You get the message through imagery and dialogue. So words are particularly important in this comic. But every once in a while, when I'm looking at these porn images, they're stills. There's a lot of racism in these comics, and it's all about a black man dominating a racist woman. It like she's calling him a nigger, or he's like pressuring her, like you want to say it, just say that shit, say it right now. And he's piping her out. Again, you're talking about language here, but there's a reason why it's there. I'm not sure. And the question you have to ask is, who's getting pleasured here? Is it like, are black men looking at this and saying, wow, this is really sexy? If they are they wrong for that?
I think the narrative, I have this thing that I say, the best way out is through. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I really understand kinks and like how they can be judged and be really weird, but it's a form of healing, And not to say that, the bucks and breeding and all that stuff is healing, but also to not say it isn't. But for you as a black man to be able to have a porn that you can watch where porn is really for males and for white males, is really more like the standard of who it's made for. And for you to have a place to go to where you get to connect sexual desire and satisfaction to the opposite of the narrative that's been pushed to you your whole life, I can see how you can get some enjoyment out of it from a non-judgmental place. Now, is it fucked up? Yeah, but it's fucked up that it's reality.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Thank you for saying that, because I think that's my whole point. It's like, it's reality, and like, it's just like, some of the things that you, like when I was reading your About Me page, I don't even think it was that. I can't remember where you were talking about it, but you were talking about like, just like when you're in the bedroom, like some people have a fetish with like, having a guy pretend like he's their daddy or something like that.
Right, or rape sex or stuff like that.
It's really sick. Like when you think about it narratively, it's like if you explain it to somebody, like just the words that we use to describe it are really disturbing, but it's still sexy to some people. And it's like, and I feel like that kind of language around race falls into that zone of like, it's unfortunate that this was a part of our history and civilization, and it's sexy in some way because of the way we've, conceptualized it in our minds. But should we feel bad about that? Given that it's part of our reality, it's not something we're going to answer on this podcast. But I constantly challenge the Bell as well as our listeners to think about that.
I still don't like it.
Yes, of course you don't.
Right. I think it's better to say I like it or I don't, but I think that we have to get past a place of judgment. Like we have to kind of we have to let it go so that we can grow, and even to the girls that are saying, "Oh, give me that nigga dick" and all that stuff, and it's crazy, especially for somebody like me that's extremely, pro-black, and for me, I didn't go into all those rooms because I don't want to have sex with white men because I love black dick, you know what I'm saying, and I know what black love does, and bigger than just sexual desire, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So with me being like that, I have to kind of let it go and allow other people to live in their place, and even as how fucked up it is, but once you step into my world with it, then you have to deal with me.
And let me just say that I don't want to make it seem like some of us are sitting on a soapbox here, and some of us are more righteous than others, and I want to say that I was talking. I remember. I remember in my mid-20s, I think, I was dating a woman who was dating a white guy, and I remember her saying something about something he said in bed about her being black, and I remember a viscerally angry feeling I had inside at hearing this. Like the idea that a white man is like this, let me smack this black ass is mine, nigger bitch. Like if you told me you liked that shit, I would judge you. I would. And I know that would be wrong, but I would. So I understand. Sometimes it can be very difficult not to judge some shit just because of the history, the relationship we have.
Right. But that's in your direct life, so you have a right to accept or not accept. You know what I'm saying? But this crazy world that we live in.
But no, Jesse, we really appreciate you sitting down and chatting with us through all this. This is some great material. I'm sure our listeners would have got something for it. But do you have anything coming up that you want to let our listeners know? Any other information around where to find you?
I'm supposed to be teaching a webinar with Exotica TV soon. I think it's going to be on the 22nd. So I don't know if this will be out by then, but I'll be teaching about sex, love, and herbs. But just check me out on Instagram at Pussy Party Podcast, and hit me up. I'm really approachable, and if you want to get a reading and see what's going on in your life, before we're all relinquished back into the normal world, give me a holler.
But we really appreciate it. We hope you and your loved ones are doing okay during this crazy ass time. And we want to also thank our listeners for tuning in. I just want to also remind our listeners, check out our Patreon on our website at www.blackandkinkylifestyle.com. You can also email us at blackandkinkylifestyle@gmail.com with any of your questions. Hit us up on Instagram, hit us up on Twitter. You can also find us on the Amore Getaways membership page. That's also accessible by our website. If you want the chance to get a free 3-month membership with Amore Getaways membership page, you can leave us a rating on iTunes or wherever you hear your podcast, and you'll be entered into a chance to get a free membership there. And if you just can't wait, you can always sign up and get 25% off using the offer code Black and Kinky. Yeah, that's all we got for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you from the Bell and the Bomber signing off.
All right, bye.
Black and Kinky, Black and Kinky, Black and Kinky lifestyle.